The Food and Drugs Authority has ordered the closure of all Citydia supermarkets in the country to allow for the immediate removal of all products labeled in Spanish and in French. The decision by the FDA is in response to media publication on Monday, April 16, 2018, which drew attention to some supermarkets and mother care shops in Accra and its outskirts, which are selling food and baby products labeled in Chinese and Spanish. In contravention of the law, the Ghana Standards Authority, the Food and Drugs and Other Goods General Labeling Rules require that the labels of products, including food, should be printed, impressed, embossed or stamped in the English language. Now, joining me on the phone lines now is Mariam Lovelace Abba Johnson. She's the head of food safety management at the FDA. Hello, good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
So what exactly called for this action to be taken on Citydia?
Well, thank you very much. We've actually been taking this action already, even before the publication. Citydia imported products into the country, and before they imported the product, they applied for the registration of the product. The safety of all their products, actually. And when the products were imported, we realized that there were about 10 or 15% of the products not labeled in English. So we quarantined the product. You know, we have an import control system, and then we have a department as well. So the import control department alerted us that the products coming in have about 10 to 15% of them not labeled in English. So the enforcement department followed it up and quarantined those products in their own warehouse and told them they had to bring the products into compliance before they are sold. So we have been having a lot of interactions with them. We actually got them to translate whatever is on the product by the Institute of Languages, and they got the...
You say you got the Institute of Languages to translate what was written on these products?
Yes, and they got they got it translated by an authority, and so we knew that this was what was going onto the product, and there are quite a number of products like that which didn't have the English labeling. So we have the supplementary labels, and they were sticking the supplementary labels on the product under our supervision at their various shops. So the last time we had an interaction with them was the 10th of April. And this application even came out on the 17th of April. Between 10th of April and 17th of April, we are talking about 4 working days that we were not present there. We were present in all their shops, and we've been interacting with them. Within a matter of 4 days, they had clandestinely taken products that were quarantined onto the shelves.
And Citydia is not the only place that has been visited. You say there are other places. There are a few mother and child care companies
the other
as
ones
well.
they mentioned were the mother care shop who had to do with the baby's court. That Amalina had to do with the baby's court. China Mall is kitchenware, and kitchenware is not under our purview. We regulate food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, and household chemical substances. And so that's what happened with Citydia.
So Citydia supermarket has been closed for now, countrywide.
So, sorry?
You say that Citydia supermarkets, the immediate removal of all the products at Citydia supermarkets is what the FDA has, FDA has taken. But yes, can you confirm that all the products at the supermarkets are labeled in Spanish and in French, as opposed to being labeled in English?
Do we confirm that all of them? Come again, please, with your question.
I'm asking if you can say for a fact that all the products at the Citydia supermarket have been labeled in Spanish and French as opposed to in English. Because you said in the China Mall, for instance, it's just the kitchenware. So in the Citydia supermarket, is it a category of items or is it all the products in general?
I still don't get your question, but let me come this way. Food and Drugs Authority regulate food, drugs, cosmetics, medical devices, and chemical household chemical substances. With these products, we ensure that they have the English label on, as per the general labeling rules for food, drugs, and other goods. So we ensure that they have English on as far as the name of the product is concerned, the best before date, the list of ingredients, the storage conditions, if any, the net weight, the batch number, and the country of origin are on those products we regulate in English, because the LI 1541 requires that on the product, that it requires English on the product. So we ensure that they have it there. And Citydia, as I said earlier, clandestinely took these products that were quarantined onto the shelf. As soon as we had the hint, we quickly took off those products that didn't have the English labels from their shelves.
These are food and drugs. These are food and drugs products alone.
Food and Drugs Authority quickly put all those products, took all those products off from the shelves. And so as of now, they do not have any products that is not labeled in English. But if I do get your question, you are just wondering if they should have Spanish and French. Yes, we do agree to multiple labels. You know, in the EU, they have the EU community as a trade community and all that. They have all these languages on one product. So there is also that difficulty of not sometimes being able to immediately locate the English labeling. Because on one product, you have the Spanish labeling, you have the French, you have the Dutch, you have the German, you have all those other languages on, and you have English labeling preceded by UK or GB. And the other thing that happens is that on the principal display panel of the product, you may see about 3 languages, the Italian, the Spanish, and maybe the French.
Yes.
And so you have to go back, get the English labeling on the information panel. So sometimes people do get confused. But as of now, the FDA has removed every product that doesn't have English labeling on it from the shelves of all the Citydia shops.
Very well. So it's now left to Citydia to replace these products with English-speaking labels.
Yes. Just they can stick them on as supplementary labeling. And that is done under our supervision.
Thanks for speaking with us. Lovelace Aber Johnson, the head of Food Enforcement Department at the FDA.